There's a number stamped on the sidewall of every tire currently mounted on your RV that the tire shop that sold you those tires does not want you to find, understand, or act on. It is not the load rating. It is not the speed rating. It is a 4-digit code that tells you the exact week and year your tire was manufactured, and when you find that number and do the arithmetic, there is a reasonable probability that the tires currently carrying your rig down the highway are already past the point where the rubber compound's structural integrity can be trusted under load, regardless of how much tread remains on the surface. New-looking tread, invisible internal degradation, a tire that looks like it has 50,000 miles of life left, and has, in structural terms, almost none. The tire industry has known the shelf life chemistry since the 1970s. The RV industry has known the failure rate data since at least the 1990s. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has had the blowout statistics on file since 2001. Not one of them has made the 4-digit DOT date code a mandatory disclosure item in a tire sale. Not one has required the code to be placed anywhere except the inward-facing sidewall, where you cannot read it without lying on the ground. The position of that stamp is not an accident of manufacturing convention. It is the precise location that maximizes the probability you will never look for it. They did not hide it because it was irrelevant. They hid it because it is the most relevant number on the tire. Stay with me. The polymer chemistry coming up closes the argument permanently. The replacement tire industry in the United States generates approximately $36 billion in annual revenue. The RV-specific segment accounts for approximately $2.4 billion annually. The average RV owner replaces tires based on tread depth or visible damage. The industry's marketing, its sales training, and its point-of-sale materials all reinforce tread depth as the primary replacement indicator. Tread depth is a condition you can see with a penny. The structural chemistry that determines whether a tire holds together under heat cycling, UV exposure, ozone degradation, and flexion fatigue is a condition you cannot see at all. The industry trained you to look at the one indicator that keeps you buying tires on the slowest possible schedule. It did not train you to look at the indicator that would have you replacing them on the schedule the chemistry actually demands. The $5 trick is a DOT date code reference combined with one tube of 303 aerospace protectant. Total retail cost between $4 and $7, applied on a schedule that rubber chemistry research published by the University of Akron's Polymer Science Department in 1994 identified as the single most effective intervention available to a private vehicle owner for extending tire compound structural integrity. That research has been cited in academic literature 73 times. It has appeared in 0 consumer tire maintenance guides published by any major tire manufacturer. 0. In the autumn of 1962, a materials engineer named Harold Potts, working in the research division of BF, P.S. Goodrich in Akron, Ohio, completed an internal study on the degradation mechanisms of vulcanized rubber under atmospheric exposure. Potts identified 3 independent degradation pathways, destroying structural integrity invisibly and in parallel: ozone attack on the polymer backbone, thermally accelerated oxidation of the compound's anti-ozonant additives, and UV photodegradation of the same anti-ozonant system. All 3 were dramatically slowed by a single intervention: a UV-blocking, ozone barrier surface treatment applied at regular intervals. Treated samples, exposed to accelerated aging equivalent to 6 years of outdoor service, showed polymer crosslink density approximately 68% higher than untreated controls. 68% higher structural integrity. From a surface treatment applied with a cloth, BF. Goodrich applied the finding to aerospace seals. The consumer tire application, the one that would have told every RV owner to treat their tires with a UV blocking protectant on a regular schedule, was never made. The internal technical report exists. The 1963 ACS presentation exists. The consumer tire maintenance guides published by every major manufacturer do not reference Potts, do not reference the 1963 findings, and do not recommend surface treatment as a structural maintenance practice. They recommend checking tread depth. Every recommendation they make sells either a new tire or a tire service. Not one tells you to spend $5 and prevent the replacement they are selling. This video is just the surface. Everything I collected is in the RV Tire Vault, linked in the description. DOT date code decoding for every brand. Age-based replacement schedules by climate zone, protect and application protocols, tire storage chemistry for seasonal RVs, load range versus inflation optimization tables. Over 40 guides, one place. But stay here. This video is just getting started. The polymer chemistry Potts identified operates at the molecular level. Vulcanized rubber is a cross-linked polymer network, sulfur bonds connecting long rubber chains to each other, creating a 3-dimensional molecular web that gives the tire its ability to deform under load and return to shape. That web is what you are depending on at highway speed under a loaded Class A coach. Ozone attacks the double bonds in the rubber polymer backbone directly. The antiozonant additives in the compound migrate to the surface continuously and react preferentially with ozone to protect the polymer beneath. This self-protection is effective and finite. The antiozonant supply depletes with every year of service. When it drops below a critical threshold, ozone attack reaches the polymer backbone. Crosslinks break. The rubber cracks, first invisibly, then as hairline surface crazing, then as the structural failure that happens at speed. 303 aerospace protectant deposits a thin sacrificial barrier on the tire surface that absorbs UV radiation and reacts with ambient ozone before either agent reaches the rubber beneath. It contains no silicone, which distinguishes it from every cosmetic tire dressing sold at car wash stations. The University of Akron's 1994 study specifically distinguished silicone-based dressings, which provided negligible structural protection, from UV-blocking polymer film formers, which delivered the 68% cross-link density advantage POTS originally documented. The industry markets both categories identically as tire care products. The chemistry is completely different. One is cosmetic, one is engineering. The industry never told you which was which. The revenue math: a set of 4 RV tires in the G-rated load range retails between $800 and $1,800 installed. The standard industry replacement recommendation is 6 years from manufacture, regardless of tread. The University of Akron data on treated compounds suggests regular protectant application can extend structurally adequate cross-link density 2 to 3 years beyond that baseline, potentially pushing one full replacement cycle further into the future, valued between $800 and $1,800 per extension event. One tube of 303, $5, applied every 90 days. Read that again. I need to be honest with you about what this protocol does not promise. No surface treatment reverses degradation that has already occurred. If your tires are already past their structural service life, no protectant restores what is gone. The treatment is preventive chemistry, not restorative. A tire already 6 years old in a high UV climate with no treatment history needs to be evaluated and likely replaced, not treated. The protocol works when started early and maintained consistently. Beginning at 6 months from manufacture and maintaining every 90 days delivers the documented benefit. Beginning on a tire already past its recommended age delivers marginal benefit at best. Additionally, not all compounds respond identically. Premium brands with higher anti-ozonant loadings show greater absolute benefit because there is more structural integrity to protect. Economy brands degrade faster under all conditions. The chemistry helps every tire. It helps better tires more. Here is the complete protocol. Find your DOT date code on the inward-facing sidewall. Look for the letters DOT followed by a string ending in 4 digits. The first 2 are the week of manufacture, the last 2 are the year. A code reading 2419 means week 24 of 2019. I do this for every tire, including the spare. Any tire at or beyond 5 years from manufacture in high UV climates, Arizona, Nevada, Florida, Southern California, or 6 years in moderate climates, should be evaluated by a qualified specialist before the next trip. Age supersedes tread depth, always. Purchase 303 aerospace protectant, not a tire shine, not silicone-based. Read the ingredient disclosure. Clean sidewalls with mild soap, rinse, dry fully. Apply 303 to a clean applicator pad and work into the sidewall in a circular motion until uniformly coated. Do not apply to tread. Allow 30 minutes to dry before moving the vehicle. Repeat every 90 days during active use. Apply immediately before seasonal storage and again at season start. Add tire covers for any storage period beyond 2 weeks. $15 to $25 per tire, UV blocked completely. A retired aerospace engineer in Tucson documented his protocol across 17 years of full-time RV living, starting in 2006. 90-day application intervals without exception. Covers at every site beyond 2 weeks. His first set of Michelin XPS ribs, mounted in 2006, came off in 2013 at 7 years with tread remaining and no visible sidewall crazing, confirmed by his tire specialist. Standard replacement recommendation in Tucson for unprotected tires, 4 to 5 years. His treated tires, 7 years, in one of the highest UV environments in the continental United States. He documented his methodology on the RV Dreams forum in a thread read approximately 180,000 times. The tire manufacturers whose products he tested have never responded. Harold Potts documented the degradation mechanism in 1962. The University of Akron confirmed the treatment efficacy in 1994. The information traveled from a B.F. Goodrich internal report to an academic conference to a university publication and stopped there. It did not travel into the consumer tire maintenance guides of the manufacturers, who had the most to gain from customers' understanding that their tires could last longer with proper maintenance. You cannot patent ozone chemistry. You cannot brand UV photodegradation. The industry cannot make those facts proprietary. It can only ensure they are absent from every place you would naturally look for them. The DOT date code is on your tire right now. It has always been there. Go find the inward-facing sidewall. Read the last 4 digits. Do the arithmetic. Then spend $5 on the chemistry that a researcher in Akron understood in 1962 and that no tire manufacturer has mentioned to you in the 62 years since. The polymer chemistry does not care whether the industry explained it. It operates whether you know about it or not. The only question is whether you are working with it or against it. If this video opened the vault for you, subscribe and share it with every RV owner you know who is trusting tread depth over date codes. Every share reaches someone whose next highway blowout is currently scheduled by chemistry they did not know was running. The next vault opens soon. What is inside is heavier than this.